Is God unfair? That's a question people have sometimes when we go through problems, we see suffering in this world, tragedies. Often we wonder, is really God fair? Well, first of all, I want you to know that in the terms of mankind's perspective, we're never going to be able to fully understand the justice or the fairness of God. But I want you to know that the Bible teaches us over and over that God is a just God. He is a fair God. Now, from God's perspective, and that meaning that when we think about how things ought to be according to God's perfect standard, God always does everything proper and right. Now, we often think, man, how can God send anybody to hell? Well, I remind people that we should never be shocked that anybody goes to hell. We should be shocked that anybody goes to heaven. Because, see, I deserve hell because I'm a sinner, but because of God's grace and God's mercy, He bestows upon me salvation, and therefore I don't get what I deserve, but rather I receive grace and mercy, and therefore I'm able to have the opportunity to be with God forever when I leave this world in heaven. Now, is God fair in our circumstances? Well, we don't deserve anything above hell. So if you enjoy anything above hell, then friends, that is grace and mercy. So from that perspective, we can see that our God is fair. God is not obligated to show goodness to anybody. He is not obligated to show mercy, but yet because of great love, He does. But His holiness and righteousness demands that punishment be dealt with, or that sin be dealt with and punished. But through the grace of God and what Christ did on the cross, that wrath was dealt with and that punishment was dealt with. And when we receive Christ, then we have eternal life. In the circumstances of life, God is more than fair. The fact that He gives us breath, the fact that He gives us health, the fact that He gives us each day. You may not be healthy, but God is not obligated to give you health. And so we have to remember that we're thankful for whatever God gives us, and we know that the very nature of God is that He is a just and fair God.